morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Friday. It's Reckless Friday. I haven't put out the Reckless Friday mug in quite some time because mugs have their own days where they come out of the cabinets. So yes, they don't come out of the closets. Not that I know about these mugs.
Indeed.
They have their own private lives in the cabinet. I don't mess with them. But Cozzy's here with his own closet. What's happening?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to actually have a chat about the Reds winning a football match and just having a nice time. It was lovely, wasn't it? How lovely was that? Do you know what I mean?
That was a fun watch. I don't know if it's because they've been so miserable, but it was like, oh man, I miss Woody kind of thing. It was more than a torture session. It was like an enjoyable experience.
It's just nice just to sit there on the 50th minute, like, oh, this is game over. This is a nice place to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is lovely, you know? And the Reds scored a few goals. Karabag were very open to let the Reds score a few goals, but you can only play what you can play. And a few times I think this season that Liverpool have looked the gift horse in the mouth and didn't take it. And at least this time we kind of took our opportunities. So it was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Before the game, we were talking in this. I'm in this extremely negative. Oh, you would feel like a glove, by the way. South Asia's scholarship says great result. Absolutely absurd presser after. Yeah, I do want to talk about. We'll talk about that. We kind of were talking about it before we went on air. But anyway, I'm in this WhatsApp chat that's like, you would fit like a glove. It's extremely negative. You would go out and be like, oh, come on, guys, kind of a thing. It's like an extremely negative anti-slot chat, right? And before the game, when we were talking, it would be great, we said, for like some of these guys to get goals. I always talk about, it's like basketball where you got to see it go through the net sometimes just for confidence, right? And I think, this dude listed 3 names: Ikitike, Mo, and Veers.
Yeah.
And I said, I would love to see a Maka goal as well. And we got basically all of them. Like, as they were happening, I was like 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. I felt in that sense it was a good game. How much of it does it translate, though? I don't know if they kind of like take almost like I feel like this team has a different attitude and morale when they go out to a Champions League game as opposed to a Premier League game.
I think that's difficult, man. I just think it's the way that they play at times. Karabag were very open, very front-footed, wanted to get on the ball themselves. And listen, Karabag needed a result. People forget that. Karabag made the playoffs. He still probably needed a result. They would have loved a draw to try to take all this away from them. But yeah, listen, Liverpool, again, sometimes, mate, you need to kind of, take chances to them. You need to kind of enjoy a football match. I've had enough of Liverpool being in football matches to the 90th minute every single game that they play.
Yep.
Sometimes you need to play a football match on your own terms. And Liverpool haven't done enough of that. Liverpool have not played enough football matches this season, or probably all season, really. Maybe the Frankfurt game away and maybe the Marseille game, where they played it on their terms. Even Barnsley wasn't on their terms until like about the 85th minute. Do you know what I mean? So,
and that's one where you just, like you said, like it was like, this is done, I can go grab a snack kind of a game. Like it's the other ones. Even when we were up 2-0, I think we have a built-in paranoia now where we're like, hey, what's going to happen if we concede 1? This game is going to turn, kind of a deal. Honestly, like until it's 3 now, I can't feel confident. Even if we look like we're controlling the game, because there is that Leeds game. You know what I mean? There have been games where it looked like, okay, back to the old days. And you're like, oh, shit, what's happening? And then suddenly it's like 2-2.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, fucking hell, that Leeds game will live long with me there. Because it should have just been the easiest 2-0 ever. But yeah, I mean, listen, you can only take I take the positives out of it. I try and take the positives out of games, mate. I really do. And Liverpool winning 6-0, I'm never going to fucking turn my nose out of no matter who the opponent is. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to, disrespect that. Liverpool have been struggling. It's nice for them to get a few goals. It's nice for, I'm gutted for Maka didn't get his hat-trick because he should have got his hat-trick. A hat-trick in the Champions League is a rarity. Do you know what I mean? And that might be, listen, he hasn't been brilliant this season. I think he'll be openly to admit that he hasn't been brilliant. And those 2 goals might give him a world of good. We can only play, if Man City go and win 6-0 or Chelsea go and win 6-0, their fans will be walking away with positives. So why can't we? The only negative, of course, is the Frimpong injury. Do you know what I mean? But let's just, if we park that to one side and base the performance and the goal scorers and the way we created chances, we looked more dangerous on set pieces, which is, fucking positive as well. So again, mate, I'm taking loads from the game, and hopefully we can roll into Newcastle and win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the game was so good because when the Frimpong thing, what was like the second minute or something, it happened, right? It already put like a whole damper as you're watching the game.
I know.
But it was so good. Like some of the things you were seeing, and I think you were kind of like almost like happy for them because you can kind of see the, like them enjoying the game, enjoying playing the game, which has not happened a lot. You were saying.
People smiles, man.
Well, it was so good that towards the end of the game, I had totally forgotten about the Frimpong damper early on in the game because there was so much positive. Of course, as I'm like summarizing the game in my head, I'm like, of course that happened. But you kind of got out of that mood watching them, which is, like a huge plus by itself.
Yeah.
I mean, when that happened, I was like, God, this season is cursed, dude. Like, what the hell was my thought? But let's get to that. Sadej Scasser was talking about it earlier. In terms of like the press conference afterwards, you are obviously have never been a huge Slot fan. I wouldn't consider myself a Slot fan. I just feel like the negativity is way over the top. So I have made like myself the self-appointed lawyer just because the negativity is way over the top. That's really the only reason. It's almost like protecting the kid from the bullies is what I'm feeling like. You're like, get off of him kind of a deal more than anything else. But what do you make of like some of the stuff he's saying? Because we talked about this before. If he speaks, people say, you should just be quiet. If he doesn't, then he's too boring, too bland. Where are you at with this?
I would love a boring and bland Slot right now. I think sometimes managers need to, I'm sure he does realise the position that they're in to the outside world. And kind of we call it the straight bat because of cricket in the UK, and just straight bat it back and just give it I'm giving you nothing today.
Wait, is that like a bunt in baseball?
Yeah, like a
boring sport like cricket?
It's a very much like straight. I can't think of another analogy, but just literally give them nothing. You stonewall it, you give them nothing, you give them the most bland vanilla answer ever. I think, listen, me not being the biggest Slot fan was, I was mentioning this last year. I just didn't think a style of football would hold up. I just thought our midfield was far too open. I've been asking for the midfielder even when Liverpool were playing well. Even in the summer, I was like, we're desperate for the midfielder just to assure this. I felt like winning games 2-0, as much as it's great just to win a professional game 2-0, you can't be in games up until the 90th minute. And that's where Klopp's high-tempo football helped out, because sometimes Liverpool just run all over the team in the first 40 minutes, be 3-4-0 up, and then you're controlling the game on your pace, like what happened with Karabakh, where it was just a training session for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why, anyway, that was they're my reasons, right? It wasn't much of the press conferences. Now, some of his terminology, again, doesn't sit right, but this comes back to, I think, it's very hard to be a Liverpool manager. And because we hold managers in such high esteem, probably more than most other clubs, in terms of how we idolise managers. So we don't really idolise players as much as we idolise Bob Paisley, even Bill Shankly and Jurgen Klopp. And
that's fair. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they are so being a Liverpool manager, I understand that it's extremely difficult. And that's why, again, you do sometimes need to adhere yourself to the fans. Of course, that's where politics come in, I think, sometimes, in terms of how we are and how we think, and we won't accept any other ways in that aspect. And I'm not saying Slot hasn't done that, because I felt like he did in this first season. He kind of made himself be, I'm here to win, just win. Doesn't matter about all the nonsense.
I was going to say, he did it by winning, not just by, nothing but to do with personality. It's the same guy, actually. He was just winning.
Now, this is the point. The point I'm proving is, though, because he hasn't massively adhered himself in terms of his personality with the fans, I think now people are starting to kind of dig in to his things a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are starting to go, well, you haven't got that credit in the bank where you've kind of adhered yourself to us and felt like a father figure, like Klopp did. And then whatever Klopp did, he was like God. Do you know what I mean? And then we've come to this other guy, and listen, it's fine. There's different ways. Listen, we've dealt with Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez, but even they would give us something. So, for example, Houllier worked in the city, for people who don't know, before Julio was a football manager, he was actually a PE teacher in Liverpool, in a school called Allsop High School in Bootle. Now, Rafa Benitez comes in, very cold, stonewalled, and we get that. But also, he'd give you a few snippets, like he was calling Everton a small club and things. So he'd give you those little snippets of like, oh, we just love this man. Like, this man's amazing. Like, he's just a cold-hearted killer. And by the way, he wins the Champions League in his first season, which helps. I think now we're getting to the stage with Slot where people are just, and probably I'm listening, I'll probably hold my hands up as well. I'm probably guilty of it where they're just nitpicking everything that he says because it's not going well. And I can probably hold my hand up on that as well. But I feel like the reason people are doing that to him is because he hasn't managed to kind of adhere himself to the fans in terms of people have always been a bit like, with him anyway. Of terms like, we can deal with it because you're winning. We can deal with it because you're winning anyway and you'll be sound and you'll be loved because you're winning. But now, I remember the end of Rafa
though that they've turned on him. I don't know about so fast. I mean, so fast for one, but more than the speed of it after winning the title. And I understand it's like historically bad this, historically bad that, but I am personally surprised, and now I'm being called naive for my, like being surprised at this, that not only it's so freaking fast, it is so freaking over the top. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like you said, every single thing. And we look at these press conferences. Look, this guy sits in that room with the same bozos, 3 times a week?
Yeah.
Right. And getting asked these questions, guys who kind of like, talk nice to him. Yeah. And now you sit there, dude, and you look at across the room and you see guys that are like setting you up, right? Mm-hmm. Like trying to get something, trying to get under your skin. They're the ones writing about you out and stuff like that. So I can see why me sitting on this side of the table now be like, oh yeah, well, you weren't saying shit last year when, 2 years ago when this happened, kind of a thing. I think is it right? No, but I can kind of see the human aspect of it.
And I agree with that. And I agree. I do think there's a part though, Tim, as you just said, it's happened so fast. You can't lose 9 and 12, which is what he did. You can't lose 9. You just can't lose 9 and 12. Well, no, Liverpool, it's not acceptable for any Liverpool manager. By the way, it's not acceptable for any football manager to lose 9 and 12. Never mind being the manager of Liverpool. And then, and by the way, I agree with what he did. Change the style, stop getting beat, and be fucking harder to beat in games, and that's exactly what he did. But this harder to beat part, I think it went on too long. I think against Burnley, though, Tim, I thought I've seen a change. I was positive after the Burnley game. I was like, well, that can happen in a game. Listen, Liverpool should never fucking, stop points at home to a promoted side. I don't care if the promoted side's second in the league. I don't care. But he loses 9 and 12. He gets harder to beat. Liverpool start to create more, Burnley and things like that. We start to see a little bit, we're starting to create a bit more chances. We're starting to see a bit. What I don't like is, Tim, in terms of the style of football isn't, I'm here for the long term. It's like, I need to get results now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I also think the reason why for the, the people, who were kind of in a different way to this, when Klopp was struggling, and Klopp struggled, 2021 was a poor season, 22-23 when all the midfielders' legs fell off. But he played the same way. And he went, but when I get these players in, we're going to be sound. And he was proven right, in effect. You know what I mean? Liverpool nearly win all 4 after the really bad season, nearly win all 4, win 2, and stuff like that. Right now, with this manager, people forget this, lads. He's got 18 months left on his deal. Whether he was doing well or something in the league, Tim, Liverpool are going to have to make a decision in the summer anyway. Even if he was going to win the league again, Liverpool still going to have to make a decision. He's got 18 months left. And I think the best thing that could happen to him, and I've mentioned this in the Discord, is just making it entertaining and just turning it into, not so much in terms of the first 5 games, but create more. And by the way, I do think he is trying to create more now in games. I do think he is trying to say, fuck it, we're going to throw caution to the wind and get on the ball more and kind of create more chances. I think he has to do that, Tim, to kind of save his job here. Like, you have to have a style of play which Hughes and Edwards can look forward and go, well, he really struggled there, but I like this change that he did. And if we give him these extra signings, then that style would kind of work for next season. Do you know what I mean? But when you're just trying to play a style of football to save your job, that's not cohesion long term. And I mentioned something here, and I want to mention it again in the Discord. We don't know what type of manager he is. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We don't know if he's the Mourinho type, or if he just comes in for 3 years, has a really good 18 months, wins a league, wins a trophy.
Oh, I saw what you mean.
Like a Conte type, because he hasn't had enough he hasn't had enough experience to kind of, feel for what he is, Tim. That's all. He could be that kind of manager we look back on him 15 years ago. He just goes there, wins a league, wins a trophy, and like a Conte type. He comes in, he has a really good first 18 months, and then it all starts to fall apart. Like a Mourinho, for example. He could be that type of manager. We just don't know if he is because the experience isn't there. Do you know what I mean? I just think that's something to consider as well as fans. That's all.
I think more than that, Bill Kloppastachio says his comment on the PSG. I didn't understand that either. I think he's constantly bringing up things where, like, facts that people ignore or differences between this season and last season that people kind of ignore when they evaluate things and stuff. That one didn't make sense to me either because I was like, how did that help? Because that's when shit started going south in the first place. I mean, maybe not initially because until we sealed it kind of a deal. I think more he's talking about being able to have players healthy. I think that's what he's missing from last year. It doesn't have anything to do with PSG and stuff. And we talked all the year last year is like, oh, his system, the way he plays is kind of, it's much more sustainable. We're not going to run the legs off of midfield. We were praising it last year because we were winning, like 1-0, 2-0, whatever. But we were winning, so people were, you say putting up with it. I feel like people, I'll be honest, can't tell the fucking difference. Most people. Can't tell the freaking difference of a control 2-0 win as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless it's like crazy, people can't tell the difference. My thing with Slot is I don't even know. I mean, you said we don't know what kind of a manager is in terms of, like the career buildup. Even with the style, like, is he right now doing, like, I don't know, like he wanted to do something else, right? But the results were not there. And then you have all these injuries to some of the key pieces that would help you get there, right?
Yeah.
And then he makes the adjustments. I don't know if all these adjustments are because this is what you have. Like, he was going to make something else, but then realize we don't have the fucking ingredients for this. You know what? We got some taco shells. It's taco for dinner tonight, kids. So he's basically using what he has to come up with the best chance to win, realizing, like you said, he's kind of working for his job right now, result oriented more than system oriented.
And I feel so sorry for him in terms of the lack of silence. I actually feel sorry for him. Liverpool can do a piece with James Pearce and get some little sentences out there like they did yesterday, going, he's our man, they're going to back him and all this. And you can do all that, and that's fine. Show me how you're backing him then. Because right now, for me, you're not backing him. Because clearly the man needs help. Clearly, he needs help. And you can sit there and go, well, he's our guy. Show me he's your guy. Show me that then by going signing a footy player that he might want. And then before you say, oh, he's not available. Listen, Mark Ayew is available. Semenyo was available. All these players are available. Everyone's available for the right price. Mateta's available for 40 million. I'm not saying Liverpool should shine Mateta, but there's quality players available for 40 million quid right now. So I just think it's a load of garbage in that sense. And again, I think that's where Hughes and Edwards had to take some of the blame. Tim, I've said this for a while. And I will keep banging on it. That defense is appalling.
Yeah.
Definitely, that defense is appalling. We know what Kanate is like. By the way, touching wood, Kanate hasn't got injured. Joe Gomez, we know what we're getting out of Joe Gomez. This is no surprise to him. You know what you're getting out of Conor Bradley.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and go, oh, fucking hell, we're gutted there. Conor Bradley's injured. I can't believe it.
I mean, this kind of injury, but you knew he was not going to be there all season. When we were fighting over what does Frimpong play, right back, right wing back, well, I kept saying, like, you can't have Conor Bradley penciled in as your season-long starter. It's just not going to happen.
And it's the same with Joe Gomez. How can Joe Gomez go from 4th choice last year to basically 3rd choice this year? How is that possible? How can Chiesa go from 6th choice last year to 5th choice and 4th choice? How is that possible? That means your team got weaker. And even if it matters about the signings or not, because even when everyone's fully fit, Chiesa's probably still 5th or 6th, 5th choice, 4th choice, whatever you want to call it.
He's probably 5th, right?
Yeah. Last year, he was comfortably 6th. He's comfortably 6th.
Yes.
So I've said for 18 months, 2 years, Liverpool need a centre mid. Liverpool are desperate for a centre midfielder who just has a bit of defending about him. Now, I understand the argument. Some people won't go, well, he doesn't want to play those two type of midfielders. We have no idea. I just don't think we have an idea of what kind of midfielder
you can get a midfielder that's defensive but good on the ball. I mean, it's not Endo or Sobosla. You know what I mean? There
It's
is
not
like in
Endo or
between.
Wirtz. It's not Endo or Wirtz. It's two different types of midfielders, and I get
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
You can
I
have a
mean, you
balance.
can get a guy. I think he doesn't want an Endo. He wants his midfielder to be able to play with his back to the goal. You know what I mean? So he can receive the ball and do something with it and kind of like
But
very
Endo's a
good
great
with his feet. But there are players like that out there. It's not like
Endo's a great point here that I've just made, though. Endo didn't get a start until we won the league last year. He didn't get a minute until we won the league. And now he's playing right back for 90 minutes in a Champions League game that Liverpool have to win. Like, that's where we're at. So that's where I have to feel sorry for him. But again, Tim, I suppose I'd argue the other part. If you're Edwards and Hughes, and you should be looking going, any chance you want to trust these players a bit more? Any chance you want to trust Endo a bit more? Any chance you want to trust Chiesa? Because we did sign them as footy players. They are real football players. Any chance you want to trust Trey Ione, whether we think he's good enough or not? But this could be a conversation that Edwards or Hughes are having and go, hey, lad, any chance you don't want to come out in the media and just slate our £10 million right back that we signed a few years ago and say he's shit, basically? And by the way, you might need him now. By the way, you might need him. Like,
I don't think somebody was asking earlier in the comments. I don't think you will see Ramsey unless like we don't have midfielders either to play right back kind of a deal.
We're playing the Brighton game in a couple of weeks in the FA Cup. He has to start.
Yeah. I can see something like that. But like against Newcastle, I highly doubt. I think, the issue is, I mean, he talked about in the press conference today in terms of him liking consistency of playing the same 11 and stuff. I honestly, again, still feel bad for him for the lack of signings. And I really do think end of last year, I think, showed who he trusts and who he wants and who he doesn't. Even if they were not starters, who he felt were good enough. Remember, like, Klopp would go around and be like, I feel so bad for these guys on the bench. They worked so hard. He didn't give a fuck. He just like basically patted them on the back, but he didn't feel like they were good enough. I feel like that's the same thing with Endo and Chiesa. When you didn't see them game in and game out last season, when we were going out to the bar, celebrating at nights and going out to the game the next day kind of a deal, I kind of felt like in the summer they will be gone. This guy does not trust them, want to use them. It's not even like he wants to kind of take a look at him or anything like that. So I don't think that was his choice to keep those guys. We decided we're going to spend big money and just buy fewer numbers. You're going to have to deal with it. That's fine and dandy in most leagues, or if you don't have injuries. If you don't have injuries, that might work because you still have depth. But the moment you freaking have injuries and your depth is guys that you didn't trust, I think he's set up to fail in that sense. Let me ask you this, because Bill, go ahead. I want to kind of like ask you this though, in terms of what you think for that.
What's the question? What would Slot say?
What would Slot have to achieve between now and end of the season for him to stay and sign a new deal? I think those are two different questions, to be honest with you, because I think it's different giving him let's see what you do next season as opposed to extending it.
I think Liverpool have to make a decision this summer, just on based on who could be available.
But do you sign a contract extension?
I think he has to win the Champions League to sign an extension. I think he has to probably win it. I actually think as well, though, Tim, it's how you win it. I think Liverpool need to see a style of footy of creating some chances and scoring some goals and whacking some sides. I think
you play like this, but win the Champions League.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking you. Like, we don't see a style change. It's pretty much most of the same thing.
I'll take 10-1-0 wins to win the Champions League or whatever it is now. 8 games to go, whatever. I'll take 1-0 wins. I'll take the most dire footy you've ever seen to win it, because it's about winning it. Look at Arsenal. It's about winning the league. And look at Arsenal, the most boring footy team you'll ever see, but they probably win the league. So I'll take it, of course. I just think for Liverpool fans now, you are getting to the stage that you need performance. You need to see an idea of going, okay, I can see what he's trying to do there. And right now, well, at least this game's massive, I think, Tim. You just whacked someone 6-0 at home. Really, I don't care who they are. You've whacked them 6-0 at home. You're playing Newcastle, who's probably a direct rival for your position in top 5, because it's probably going to be top 5 for the Champions League. Direct rival, 8 p.m. at home. You need to give them fans something in the first 10 to come along with you. I say this all the time about Anfield. People go to what the famous Anfield atmosphere. Yeah, of course, it's unbelievable when it gets going. But you've got to give them something to get going. You've got to give us something. You need to give us something. You don't expect to come out to be like Germany when everyone's fucking just not even looking at the crowd, just with a big speaker like that. It's not like that.
Yeah.
You need a trigger point, and the team is the trigger point. Like, we will come along with you if you give us something to come along with. And I think that's super important. I think that's why it's super important, Tim, that Liverpool have to get off to a fast start, first 10. I'm not saying score, but have a couple of chances, look like they're on the ball, Newcastle pinned in, and I think the crowd will come along with you. I'm gutted Isaac's not available. I really am gutted Isaac's not available. Because I just think that kind of hatred in a game benefits Liverpool loads. I think it benefits Liverpool loads. So yeah, I think right now the team performance, Tim, I think is everything for him to kind of stay. And Liverpool have at least got to be in the Champions League places. It's a bare minimum. Have to be.
But then you keep him?
I think the club will make a decision. I don't think they'll keep him.
You don't think they'll keep him? If he stays in the Champions League, let's say, I don't know, we go out in the semifinals or something like that in the Champions League, but we qualify for the Champions League, which means you kind of, the way the season is, the way the league is right now, you got to get a win here, win there. You don't have to win consistently, it feels like, to be in the Champions League spots. And because the way the things are going, I'm assuming fifth is going to the Champions League as well. So... you don't think I think I mean, Ozan says if we win the Champions League, I almost feel like if we qualify for the Champions League, here's the thing though, I think not only FSG, I think Edwards and stuff will have a conversation with them. I almost feel like Slot will have a conversation with them back.
So do I.
Be like, what are we doing?
I agree. I think there's a conversation where Slot might just think, can't be arsed with this. I've got a year left. And because I think sometimes managers have to protect their reputation as well.
Yeah, true.
And listen, say Liverpool finishing the Champions League, Tim, and whatever. I'm not saying he's going to leave Liverpool, but he can sit down and go to his next club and go, hey, listen, that was a fucking bag of rags what they left me over there, blah, blah, blah. And he can explain this big conversation. There's also part of this, Tim. I don't think the right answer is Slot the right man. I hate that conversation. You're Slot in or Slot out. I want Liverpool to win every game of footy, and I don't care who the manager is. So if Liverpool can start by Newcastle, please, then it's Slot, and I'll fucking adore the man, because if Liverpool win footy matches.
I mean, you were very quiet last year, to be fair.
Well,
so
of course, but I also felt like just in terms of how he played footy wouldn't be sustainable. That's what I thought. I just thought, and let's be frank here, he has zero pressure on to win the league. The pressure was gone in February. Arsenal were finished.
Not only that, I think beginning of the season there was no pressure in some ways because everybody was expecting a huge drop off.
And I think everyone was expecting a certain style of football, which didn't materialize, like a Klopp style of football. Then Slot comes in, completely changed it. Everyone gets caught a bit off guard with it all. And then it gets kind of figured out in January. And then I think Liverpool have lost 19 since last January or something. But my thing is with him, mate, the question isn't if you slot in and slot out, Tim, and this is the question I'll ask for you. If you're Hughes and Edwards, you still need to sign 7-8 players in the summer. Do you trust them to get the best out of those players? And that's the question that you ask yourself. It's not like, is he the right man? Do you trust him? Because let's say you've got your targets in mind. Then they're the targets that we've identified. Is he the right manager to get the best out of those players for Liverpool?
I think that's when they gotta make the decision. I think that's when, like I say, Slot talks back to them and says, okay, this is what we need. That might be a great potential or whatever. Your stats guy might like it, but he doesn't fit this. I think that's going to be more of a conversation. I mean, here's the thing. It's comical that we would even discuss it, I think, when a manager wins. You're like, are we going to keep him? Or, you know what I mean? Like, if he wins it.
The only way Liverpool win the Champions League, first of all, we can have zero more injuries from now. Zero. Right, that's one way. And number two is that they turn games into a basketball match. Because I think if you're going to play these tight games against these hard teams, like, for example, if we get Juventus, by the way, I still expect Liverpool to beat Juventus, but a really defensive team who are really better than us on the counter, probably, and taking those chances in games, those little tight games, I think will be on the receiving end on. But I think if Liverpool can get Isak back fit, and then they turn it into a basketball match a little bit, especially at Anfield, because we're going to be playing the second legs at home, I believe, up until the semi-finals. I think at Anfield, if we can go away and play how we're playing now, really compact and tight, lose the game 1-0, win the game 1-0, draw 0-0, and get them back to Anfield and turn it into a basketball match and turn the heat up, I think Liverpool can go far. But I think if he's going to try and play that style of play at Anfield and basically snoozes the fans, and you know what I mean, and just kind of like snoozes away, and then fucking Mbappe scores. Because he'll find a way to score. Even if we're not playing well with it, then Mbappe will still score. And I just think that's where we die. But I think it's the injuries as well, Tim. I do. I really do. The problem is
Yeah.
with Liverpool as well. What's pissed me off, Tim, so much about this season, not about winning the league. By the way, Arsenal, worst champions ever. If Liverpool just got 10 more points on the board by beating the promoted sides, Liverpool could actually start resting teams in the players in the Premier League. You could actually take, you know what I mean? Like you could go, well, we've got a bit of a gap to the bottom five. Liverpool could be fifth or fourth. Have an 8-point gap. Have an 8-point gap to everyone else and go, well, fuck it, we'll rest someone. We'll rest 2. Rest 3 for the Champions League.
Yeah.
We can't do that anymore because you've got too many points to your Burnleys and your Leeds and your
Honestly, here's my thing. Like, this is what we're at. Like, I don't think he has the people to be able to rest 2, 3 and stuff.
Yeah, of course, but I mean, if you're 8 points, 10 points clear in the Premier League, though, you could hook your TK off on the 60.
Yeah, I guess you can be like, Ando, here's your chance, kids. Kind of, yeah, I guess.
But that's why we use your squad, though, innit, Tim? We know this. The reason why Liverpool again have won, again, especially in the 1 in 05, Liverpool were out of commission in the league in a top 4 race with Everton, and then they just rested a couple of players here and there. Liverpool had some injuries, of course, with the Champions League. In 18-19, it's completely different because you have a squad of 20 lads.
Yeah.
But again, when you look at that season, though, Tim, in 18-19, Divock Origi gets loads of minutes. Shaqiri gets loads of minutes. So these type of squad players got loads of minutes.
See, I think the challenge is there because I keep speaking of Mr. Negative is in the house. Good morning, Bob. But my thing is, I think it's a bit easier to say, okay, you know what, we're gonna go with Shaqiri today. When everything is established and you're just changing one guy.
Agreed.
And you're kind of going with your backup that maybe is not a perfect fit or whatever. Whereas now I feel like nothing is established. You can't even establish anything because right when you're like, okay, we got this 4-2-2-2. Oh, now this guy is gone and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of been hard to get a guy to say, hey, you know what? We're going to rest Szoboszlai today. So you're going to go out there and just run like he does. You can't even do that because now Szoboszlai is probably going to play. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm assuming he's going to be the right back tomorrow.
Yeah, but that conversation, Tim, can happen when Liverpool get to the last 16 now in March. You can have a look at that conversation. You can see where Liverpool are at in the league. If Liverpool are 8-10 points clear in the top 5, Liverpool go on a bit of a run, let's say, and then we get to March and we're 10 points clear in the top 5. He probably could do that, though, Tim. That's an option that he might have in March. He doesn't have the option.
You can roll the dice, I guess.
We might as well roll the dice and go, you know, if we're going to lose a game, we'll lose a game in the league, but we're going to have a concentrate on the Champions League. I think Liverpool have had a great draw. I know Atletico Madrid are a tough side, but I think getting Galatasaray, Club Brugge, or Juventus is not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? And then, isn't it true that we might play Spurs? I don't know if that's true in the quarterfinals. I was told we might play Spurs. If you get Spurs in the quarterfinal of a Champions League, this version of Spurs, come on, Reds, please. For the love of God, please. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, it's a tough one, fella. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of like hard to tell. I mean, I don't know. Like Bob is saying, Isak will probably be but that's what you need. You don't even have that. Like that's what you need right now. You got to be able to say, Ikitike, you got 60, dude. So you don't have to save anything. Play yourself, run, because you only have 60. You don't have to spread it out, worry about cramping and stuff, because we got Isak coming in on 60. I think we'd be a lot better shape. We can't do that right now. So if Ikitike starts cramping at 70, we're like, what the hell? By the way, I did see Real Madrid get Benfica, and I was like, yeah, that's not scripted somehow. That's a ridiculous. I mean, I looked at some of the possibilities yesterday, and everything we called with my brother basically happened. Like this guy will get this guy will get that. Out of those possibilities, every single one has happened.
There's also parts of him again. I just think that with this Champions League, this version of the Champions League, you can find yourself in the last 8 pretty quick. And you look and go, fucking hell, in the last, Liverpool in the last 16, you might play Juventus or Atletico, be a tough game, of course. Yeah. But Liverpool beating Atletico Madrid this season, Liverpool a bag of rats.
I mean, I don't think you can be in the top 16 and hope for like Carabao or, if Club Brugge is there, even then, I don't think you can say, oh, it's Club Brugge because they beat somebody to get there. So they're not that shabby.
Galatasaray beat Liverpool. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If we get Galatasaray, but again, I think it's.
Oh, I do want them so bad again. But I'm hoping they're never going to make it.
You want them back to Anfield, don't you?
Oh, man, much. Dude, I want them so
That's actually. Are you going to be slot out if he loses to Galatasaray at Anfield?
Fuck yeah, get him out of here. I can't go through that twice for fuck's sakes. I honestly think even then, the game we lost over there is still a stupid penalty. Really, again, you have to play someone right back and stuff.
I thought you were great for 30 minutes. First 30, I thought Ekitike should pass it. I remember Ekitike goes one-on-one and misses, and I think Frimpong's brilliant. He plays right wing, doesn't he? Frimpong's brilliant for the first half an hour. And I actually thought Liverpool were okay. We give away the penalty and we just have no sense of any kind of fight back in us at the moment. Liverpool have to score the first goal to win a game. If Liverpool don't score the first, oh my lord, Liverpool won't come back from. I don't think Liverpool will come back from behind this season and win a game. I just don't think they have it in them.
I don't know, man. We just almost did. We literally almost did.
Fulham.
Huh?
The Fulham game.
I mean, the Bournemouth game, for example.
Of course. But
I thought that was like, that's the thing. Even if that game ended 2-2, I was going to walk away from that saying, you know what? That to all those people saying he's lost the locker room and stuff like that, team doesn't come back, set piece or not, away at Bournemouth. Because let's face it, I was saying this on air too. Like when it was 2-0, those next 30, 45 seconds, I was like, oh, fuck, this could go really ugly, really fast over here. So for them to calm it down and come back and tie it up, I felt showed a lot, but then when you lose it, that the balloon you kind of like just bursts at the end, obviously. But
Bournemouth have won 1-14 before we played them. They have got 8 first-team players out. 8. We talk about injuries; they've got 8 first-team players out, and they've won. This is in the same Bournemouth side that you were playing last year when I had fucking Kirches, Zabani, Dean Huijsen, goal. You know what I mean? Semenyo, of course. That wasn't the same Bournemouth side, gents. So I do think we need to. We do score set pieces, and we scored the 2 set pieces, and Liverpool scored goals, and I'm happy with that. I don't think we created enough chances. I think their keeper had the cleanest fucking football kit on the whole field, which is a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's all, Tim. I know what you're saying. I just feel like, again, sometimes you do need to turn it into a basketball match. When it goes 2-2, they should be.
Trust this defense, dude. You keep saying basketball match. I don't trust this midfield to have the legs in a basketball match, and I don't trust the defense to keep up with that basketball match.
Well, there's no fear anymore, Tim. So the only way that you can. So, for example, if you have a style of play like he does, if you go 2-2, Bournemouth should have been on 10 men back, 2-2, fucking hell, playing Liverpool, point scored here. Let's not lose the game. And then Liverpool can still play the slot kind of way because they're going to be all over the ball. It's went 2-2, mate, and they went, come on then, let's go. And Liverpool faltered. Liverpool went absolutely.
But it became a basketball match.
No. We didn't create a chance. We didn't.
But I mean, well, that's because of the poor decision making when every time you got somebody 4-on-4. But you know, it did be like the midfield just disappeared. It was like Major League Soccer all over again. Like, there was no midfield. The ball was like at the ends. And I just going back and forth.
But they fancied it, and we didn't fancy it.
No,
and I think that's a problem. And I think that's a massive problem.
That's why I'm hoping this week game, like I know it's Carabao or whatever, will help that because you just need that momentum, right? When you're attacking, you're like something good is going to come out of this kind of a deal. But Bill Klobuchar just says, when will I be slot out? Honestly, here's my thing. It's not about loyal. I mean, if Slot got fired today, I mean, you know, we're on the same boat over here and they've hired Xavi or whatever. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like how it went down, especially if it's Xavi coming in or whatever. But I would root for Xavi. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I want to be proven right. I don't care. Like, as long as Liverpool wins, I don't care who is in charge. But I just feel, and you know, I've criticized some of the shit Slot does. I think every manager, including Klopp, when we got fucking hammered, anytime we criticize anything Klopp did negative that we didn't like, we were like, how dare you and stuff. Every manager, you got to be able to look at it and say, you like this, you don't like that. You got to be able to give it good or bad. I just feel like now everybody's looking at nothing but bad. And like I say, I feel like I'm trying to save the poor kids' lunch from the bullies half the time. He's just like, let him eat a sandwich. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Because really, like you said, I don't think he's dealt a good hand. Knowing the situation, I think Edwards is making it worse for him by not giving him the tools. So going back to what you were saying, that's why I think it's important that, you know, Slot says, you know, yeah, I'm the manager, but this is what I need. Like, yeah, that guy is great, but I mean, I'll be honest, like we love the summer, but you look back now and you don't count on the Isak injury. You had all these other holes that you could have probably filled with 70, 80 million easily. It could take or Isak, regardless, like, you know, not having the luxury of knowing how things panned out. We all thought when Ikitika was signed, Isak is never happening. Because it just seemed like, why would you spend 200 million for the same position when you have kind of like glaring holes in some places? Not maybe on paper, But in reality, knowing how healthy Bradley can be, how healthy Gomez can be, you know what I mean? How long
Jones,
Ali is gonna stay healthy and all that kind of
Jones.
stuff.
Yeah, Jones is another one. And this is the
Yeah.
point, Bolton. And yes, of course, we can talk about the summer. And I'm happy to go into the summer, like, because I actually thought in the summer, well, he's come in last year, he's won the league, but he's come in last year and went, these aren't my players. This isn't. So I just thought last year he's just playing a style to suit the players, which could be, by the way, fine, he's won the league. So I thought, well, we come into this summer, with the players he signed, I thought, fuck, maybe we're going to win every game 5-0. Like, he's just going to have a big, like, this is what he's about. He really is a big attacking coach, and he's going to really implement his style on things. Isak comes in last day, right? So that's, and then he goes, he's had no preseason and stuff like this. Okay. But you knew that was going to go late if you were going to sign him anyway.
Yeah.
You knew that. You knew. You looked at your forwards in a month before you signed Isak and went, okay, now we've got no winger with pace, but we don't want to stop Rio's development. You don't think there was a conversation between Slot, Edwards, and Hughes talking about Rio and Gamora in the summer? Surely there was. Surely they've had a conversation and went, do you like this lad? And he's went, yeah, I like this lad. Yeah, he's fucking great. You know what? I'm going to play him loads.
Do you think so? Because I feel like the conversation was the other way around, where they were like, what do you think? He's good, but he needs time. Well, we don't want to get somebody in front of him, so you're going to have to use him.
And
we got another call. We got to go. And then they left. That's what I envisioned that thing like. He didn't have he wasn't like, that's fine. Sal Diaz, I got Rio. No worries. I don't think that was the conversation.
And I agree with that in an effect. But if that's an option, Tim, then it's an option. Whether we agree with it or not, that I think we should be an option. I don't think Endo should be an option. I don't think Chiesa should be an option. But whether we agree with it or not, they are a part of this fucking squad. And if you want to keep tightening your belt of players that you want to use and players that you want to trust, that's on you. You've made that decision now.
But if it's your job, Cozzy, right? Mm-hmm. If it's your job on the line, aren't you going to go with everything that you trust and not just like, you're not going to have, this is what I have, I guess it is what it is. You're still going to go with the guy you trust. If you're assigning something to somebody, right, and your job is on the line, you're going to be like, well, let's hope. I mean, this is the only guy I trust. You're not going to be like, that's the only other guy I have. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't fuck up. And I know this is different in terms of rotation, legs, and all that kind of stuff. But I can kind of understand, like, matter of principle wise, he's almost doing it on purpose now, saying, this is what we got. What are you going to do? That's why he talks shit about Ramsey. He's not an option. He's only an option on paper.
I know. I just think the Ramsey thing's in bad taste. I think we can all agree
with that. No, I agree to that. I don't think he had to go all
He could have just said, listen, he's training really well. I really like him. Do you know what I mean? But he's a young kid. He's had big injuries and stuff like that. But he's a part of this squad. That's it.
This is as Portuguese as he gets.
Dutch, you mean?
No, this is as Portuguese as he gets being Dutch.
Radio style. I mean...
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do the Amarim thing and say, don't ask me. I'm the coach. I should be the manager or anything. You know what I mean? He didn't go that route. This is as Portuguese as this Dutch guy gets. He said that more of a... And I know it ended up being a slap in Ramsey's face, probably more than Edwards' face, because that's how everybody interpreted it. I think his intention was more about, this is what they're giving me. You guys see what we have.
Yes, in that aspect. I just think, again, you can sit there and when you say that comment, and that comment looks like it could bite him on the arse in the next couple of weeks when he's starting games. I'm more of the fact of with Ramsey, again, I just think it's in bad taste. And I get what you're saying, Tim, when the chips are down, you get the guys that you trust in. But then you are at the company of injuries, aren't you? You are at the way of injuries, in effect, of like the minutes that you're putting into these players. I just think, mate, right? I always look back to previous managers, Tim. And I look back in the league now, even now, Guardiola's very good at where they'll have a squad player. They'll start playing well, that squad player, and they'll just play him for 4 or 5 weeks. And then you won't see him for 3 months.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that, for example, before Oscar Bob got his injury, he played Oscar Bob loads. Now Oscar Bob's going to Fulham for 30 million, right? But he played him loads. Savinho was a very good argument. Marmoush is a very good argument to City. They've come in. They're playing well. Fuck, I just played them for 5, 6, or a few months, and that's that.
Yeah, but you can afford to do that as Pep.
I'm not arguing that. Let me go back. No, this is the past the start of the season, though, Tim, as well. When Isak is getting his fitness, when the first 5 games when Chiesa's kind of playing well. I'm not saying Chiesa's at the level. Chiesa's nowhere near the level to play for Liverpool long term. He's not. But when he's playing well, he should have just started him and went, there's a few games. Let's see what you're about. And then you can sit there, then Slot can sit there, and then you can do what he says in the press conference and go, by the way, stop asking me to start him now because he's shite. Right? And he can say that. Right? I just don't think this manager, I don't think he strikes while the iron's hot sometimes on players. I think he did a little bit with Frimpong. As soon as Frimpong came back, play well, he's like, I'm fucking playing him. He's my only outlet.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I was like, fuck me, that's what I want to see. A manager who's kind of switched on to, kind of aware of things in his squad. I think right now, for example, I look at Endo. Again, Endo's nowhere near the level. I thought he played quite well against Karabakh. I thought he was great. I thought played right back, fine, filled in, hasn't barely kicked a minute. When's his next game, Tim? That's what we don't know when his next game is. So when's his next moment? When's his next time where you can go, I need to pull Szoboszlai out, or I need to pull Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is ill. I think he's back. He said in this press conference he's back.
I think so, yeah.
Great news, of course. But if you're going to play these 4 midfielders in this weird formation, you can't play a team with 4 centre mids and only have 4 centre mids to choose from. It's absolutely bizarre. So eventually you've got to have a fifth. And I mentioned something to you before we went on live. If Liverpool want to plan for long term, there's no defenders right now. You've got fucking Bastoni in the summer or whatever you want. Fine. What Liverpool could do is sign a midfielder now and say, listen, lads, if I had to sign a number 1 midfielder, again, let's just say it's Adam Wharton because he's English and it would help with the coefficient. For people who don't know, Liverpool can't sign any foreign players. They have to sign homegrown. Adam Wharton's homegrown. Let's just say it's Adam Wharton. Or let's just, that kind of level at least. Yeah.
Was I already saw it coming?
Yeah. Let's just say it is, though, him, Tim, right? What you can sit there, the manager can sit there and he can tell us in a press conference and go, our first choice defenders wasn't available. Weren't available. So we've signed him because he's given me more options with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch and playing in the defence for now. But we weren't going to waste a load of money on a defender that we just didn't think was good enough. I think a lot of fans can sit there, Tim, and go, yeah, I understand where you're coming from now. I get it. Do you know what I mean? I think that,
so, dude, I know you say that. You said that to me before we went on air. And I think in soccer terms, it makes sense. And I see what you're saying, but I do really think most fans would say we need the right back. Why'd you guys sign a midfielder? Unless it's like Wharton is Wharton is a no-brainer, right? I'm not saying Wharton. I think nobody's gonna complain, but I don't know. Throw any other name out there that we go get for 10, 15 million just as a body for that.
No, that's different. I think I agree with you there. What you're saying, you're right. I think if Liverpool go and sign a £15 million midfielder, everyone will lose the fucking mind.
Yes.
But if Liverpool go and sign a first choice midfielder, you go, everyone agrees he's a top player. Again, top player. I think if you can sit in the next press conference and go, he was our first choice in the summer. We had an opportunity to do him now. We've done it. And he's also given me the options of if as you're using Gravenberch in defence or Szoboszlai in defence. I don't like that either, guys, but there was no defenders out there right now we thought was good
that's
enough.
Fair. Yeah.
And we're going to fix it in the summer. I think if you can come out and be that honest with fans, I think a lot of fans can get on with it. I think a lot of fans will go, yeah, stand in. Yeah, let's go. We'll get on. You know what I mean? I just think leaving it in terms of, by the way, he gave a little hint in the press conference that this might not be all done and dusted in terms of signings. He kind of said, well, we'll see. We got till Monday. We'll see. And I was like, oh, this is a bit more, not like this isn't happening. It was just like, we'll see if the right player comes up for the right price and you think you can improve us, we'll see. And I was like, well, that's a bit different than what we're getting told 2 weeks ago. So I thought maybe that's a change.
Yeah. I don't know, because of the right back situation, there's some discussions and stuff. I know I read some, I think it was Fabrizio or Ornstein or somebody said something about there's conversations regarding who's available at right back and stuff. I don't know, this Douglas Luiz thing we were talking about on the Discord. I don't know, man. There's something wrong with that dude, that it's just kind of for a player that is pretty, he gives me Tielemans vibes. Where you look at it, you're like, he's a good player. What seems to be the problem here? But there is a problem because they're not going with Douglas Luiz. He's moving around too. People buy him and they're like, this is not the guy we thought. I don't know if it's the personality thing. I don't know if he doesn't fit everything tactically. He's not actually a smart player to adjust or something, but we considered him an option. And I know that's way back when we had no midfielders. I think his name was being thrown around. I remember that before he went to Juventus, right?
Yes.
So that like 3
Yes.
seasons ago or something like that.
Yeah, season and a half, yeah. Lost.
I mean, you threw out I mean, obviously, like you threw out like Oscar Bob's name for like 30 million and stuff. I think that's the thing. These guys do not do, if they never had that name on the list,
Not anymore.
they don't look at the price and say, oh, he's going for like 30. Why the hell not?
Not anymore.
Like, they don't do that.
Not anymore, but I believe they used to. I believe they looked at Minamino for 8 million and went, I'll take a chance on that.
8 is different than, you know what I mean? Right? Like, you're not going to sign Douglas Luiz for 30 and sell him for more. That's the guaranteed negative in terms of transfer. You're not going to sign Douglas Luiz for 30. I don't even know how old he is. He's not that old, but you're not going to sell him in 2 years for 50. When we signed Minamino, we all said he could shit in the middle of the pitch. He was going to be a Liverpool player now, so his price is going to be higher than what he came in as.
I think Liverpool took chances on like Andy Robertson. I think Liverpool took chances on Wijnaldum and Shaqiri. I think we did take more of those opportunities and those kind of, well, there's only 25, 30 million. Fuck it, we'll give it a go and see what works out.
But 30 is a lot for a chance, dude. That's what I'm saying. I like if he was like 12, yeah.
Is it any more though?
You're not going to sell him any more than 30, though. Like, I think when you sign Robertson, when you sign Minamino, I think you knew automatically, because now the sticker has a Liverpool logo on it, the price is going to be higher than what you paid for.
You don't think Oscar Bob's worth a punt at 30 million?
Oscar Bob is a different situation, though. He's so much younger.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has potential. He's in a team where he just can't get minutes because they keep signing expensive people.
Liverpool shouldn't sign Douglas Luiz. I'm not into that, right?
I'm not either.
I'm not into it, right?
I just think it'll be Arthur Melo bad, but I don't.
I don't think it's Arthur Melo, but I just think there's a party at Tim where I don't like the idea of there's no value in the market. I just hate that idea that there's no value in the market. Yes, there is. There's value all the time. You just got to find it.
And sometimes you don't have to find the value, man. That's my frustration. Sometimes you got to say, because of an emergency, you got to alter the plans. That's my only complaint about these guys. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks now. You got to be able to adjust the plan and say, you know what? Yeah, we're not going to make money on this guy, but it's what we need right now. It is what it is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And if you want to sign, again, your long-term strategy, your long-term targets, well, the price of admission is you might be looking for a new manager in the summer because of your decision, and that's the price of admission, unfortunately.
True.
And you know what I mean. But I'm sure Slot knows that. I'm sure Slot knows it's the price of admission, and this is what you signed up for, and that's why you get a big paycheck. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, Tim. I don't know anymore, mate. If Liverpool are going to walk in with, I think with the squad that they currently have now and no signings, Liverpool do not win the Champions League. I just don't think we have a chance.
I don't see. Depends on the injuries. I think as things are, if you don't have still people like, you're going to have Frimpong back. Hopefully you're going to have Isak back. That's another thing. I look like this weekend, like it's not even like, oh, he's going to be like the number of people you count as he's going to be back. Leone is not going to be back. Bradley's not going to be, you know what I mean? Like these guys that you've lost, it's not like, oh, they have a muscle injury. They're going to be back in like 4 to 6 weeks. So in 3 months, they'll be ready to go kind of a deal. So yeah. I don't know. That's kind of like my concern. But how optimistic, pessimistic are you into? I was literally having nightmares of Burns flipping throw-ins to the back into the box the moment the freaking Carabao game was over. So how optimistic are you about tomorrow?
God dang. Who are you playing right back and we can have a chat?
I think you're playing Szoboszlai.
Optimistic. If we're playing Endo, Anthony Gordon versus Endo doesn't feel like much of a foot race.
No.
That I want to see live.
Who do they have? They have a couple of injuries themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
And they did just come away from a tough away game. Yeah, Mecca marking them for no set pieces.
We've seen that before. Yeah, I just feel like, listen, Newcastle need to come and get a win as well. Newcastle could do with the points. In terms of if they're serious about finishing in the Champions League spot, it's going to be an hard game. But every game's hard for Liverpool at the moment. Every game's hard. We play bottom of the league, it's hard. We played bottom of the league. We won 2-1, barely.
Is it better that the games are harder for the squad in some ways? Like, sounds odd to say.
It's a great question, because I think that's why there was such a backlash over the Burnley result and not really the performance. Yeah. I think it was the result that was the backlash. Probably in terms of getting them up for it and feeling like they're in a bit of a dangerous spot. I'm confident, Tim. I think Liverpool. Maybe I'm just like that kind of. I just think Liverpool can turn a corner at any one moment, but the corner never comes, Tim. I feel like this corner's the longest corner in my life. It's honestly, it feels like I'm stuck in jail on Monopoly, and I can't keep trying to roll a double, and the corner's there. I'm looking at the corner, and we just can't roll that double. That's what I'm at. Do you know what I mean?
That's a good analogy. It's like, God damn it, man! I wish I had the card.
I can see Pall Mall. I can see that was the British version, by the way. I can see all these type of, you know what I mean, things I want to go and land on, and I just can't get out. I'm stuck in jail watching all these players keep going around me. I'm watching fucking Man United on the Browns just keep catching up to us and then now eventually overtake us. It's killing me. And we're just trying to roll this double consistently. But I think Liverpool wins it. I do think we'll win the game still. I just think Liverpool have to have, again, I just think you do need to have a bit of a mad game. I think the fans need a mad game. I can see that. Just having a mad game of footy. You can't keep playing defensively or playing like you're starting to play when you've got two midfielders in defence. I know Konate's back, actually. Sorry, so Konate should start with Sabah's line. And then probably Kirkes. And I think there's a part of this where you just got to go for these games and kind of say, we'll throw caution to the wind. And then at least you can sit there and go, well, at least the fans are going on with a bit of a smile on the face in a way of Liverpool winning a game, but also you've got to win the game and you've got to show me a performance. You've got to show some attacking football. I think having a really bad home record is what kills managers. I've always thought this.
Yeah.
I think it kills managers, Tim. Spurs are fourth in the Champions League. But he can't win at all. So they get battered. So the fans batter them because they can't win at all.
Show, by the way, that how far ahead Premier League is, where teams we consider to be meh in the league are just killing it in the Champions League. It's
Newcastle went to PSG and took the lead. Come back from 1-0 down, didn't they? I think, and took the lead. Oh, no, they got disallowed. But you know what I mean? But they pulled it back and had a competitive game with PSG and things like that. And we're like, well, supposedly PSG with this fucking night and day team.
Yeah.
Look, even a great example is Arsenal won 8 out of 8 in the Champions League and they haven't beat Liverpool.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Isn't that weird? Yeah. And honestly, like, not even like, well, it wasn't a game we escaped. I know the first 10, 15 minutes looked like it, but afterwards it was a game actually. And this is like Paul says about like Newcastle. I do agree to that. I think that's a plus for us having, but the problem is, man, that shit is on paper when you hit the pitch on late freaking Saturday. I don't know how that's going to turn around. That's the problem I have with this season or with this team right now is every game is kind of like a crapshoot. I never know. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what the hell you're going to get when they go out there. And honestly, sometimes it's just freaking luck, man. I mean, you look at last week even. I thought we were playing pretty well until Van Dijk had the brain fart.
Yes.
And you can't really account for that shit. So that's why, going into these games, there are not a lot of players. I think in the past, we trusted, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 guys, right? You knew exactly what you were going to get from these guys, and it really depended on the other ones. You knew what Bobby was going to do. You knew what Van Dijk was going to do. You knew what even Ali, like, I can't even, like, rely on it right now. So
I think my point is, though, Tim, on the Bournemouth game, we were playing quite well, but we didn't create a chance. We didn't create a meaningful shot on target and work a goalkeeper. I know Salah kind of snatched at a couple and probably should have done better, and I can go along with that. And again, it's like the Leeds away game, innit? Liverpool are comfortable 2-0 in the game. Konate turns it into a football match because Konate does what Konate did this season. Do you know what I mean? So, and I agree with that. Liverpool have shot themselves in the foot. Liverpool, a lot this season, have just turned into the sideshow Bob Mean with stepping on rakes. Liverpool would just step on a rake at any given moment. You're like, oh, we're comfortable, banging it yourself in the face again with a rake, and you're like, oh, and then Liverpool can't get out. Again, it's like the analogy with the Monopoly thing. You're stuck in jail, and you're just like, lads, just roll a double and get out. No, you just don't want to.
I love the Monopoly analogy, man. We're going to have to keep rocking that. Well, I want a meme showing you on the Monopoly thing. Okay, as we head out.
Go on.
Prediction. Give me a score.
3-2 Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to have a mad one, and I fancy a mad game. I want to get, Tim, I want to feel fire inside my belly again watching Liverpool. I want to fucking stick it to someone. I want to sit there and go, yeah, let's have a bit of anger in a game.
I feel more like a heartburn right now watching.
That's fair as well. Should go and see a doctor, really. But yeah.
I'll go with a 2-1 win, as long as, so I'm hoping, man. I mean, that was like having seen get a goal. I thought he put a couple of really good balls in against Karabakh. He wasn't great 1v1 again. I don't think we're ever going to have the great 1v1 Mo back. but he put a couple of really like that. He should have had the hat trick and stuff like that. A couple to Ikitike. So
great finish from him as well.
Yeah,
great finish.
Yeah, that's why it was good to have him get the goal and stuff. So let's hope for the best. Optimistic Friday, reckless as it is. I'm going with the 2-1. Have a great Friday evening. Buckle up for tomorrow. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.